My name is Lucia Shao, and I'm a rising senior at the Brearley School in New York City. I am passionate about harnessing the intersection of technology and business to drive meaningful change. Today, I'm excited to share my portfolio, a mission-driven LX Impact Fund that prioritizes companies promoting healthy aging for elders through intergenerational connection and digital inclusion, a solution to address my core community challenge, reducing social isolation and digital divide for older adults. Let's get started. First, I will start with my investment performance review. I apply a multi-lens investment strategy that combines top-down macro signals with bottom-up company analysis. For tactical opportunities, I also balance momentum investing with structural trends. For example, I bought NVIDIA at its one-year historical low levels during early April's Liberation Day sell-off, while adding exposure to NextEra Energy, a renewable energy leader with consistent dividend growth. I also invested on Ventus, a senior housing real estate investment trust that serves as an inflation hedge aligned with aging demographic trends, relevant in favor of my impact goals. For every holding, I stress-tested assets for robust, risk-adjusted returns, while ensuring direct alignment with the fund's impact mission. For example, the portfolio overweighted healthcare and green technology sectors, not only for their defensive characteristics, but also for their capacity to drive meaningful community outcomes, such as enhanced mental health or greater digital inclusion among seniors. Stock screening began with quantitative filters to ensure a robust foundation. For growth, I prioritized companies with strong earnings per share and free cash flow trajectories. To ensure portfolio resilience, I allocated to companies like Walmart, whose pricing power allowed it to preserve margins and market share, even as broader retail struggled with inflation and shifting demand. Meanwhile, valuation discipline was maintained through sector-relative PE analysis and thorough assessment of geographic and currency exposures. For qualitative analysis, I sought out companies demonstrating active product innovation, as with Denali, whose Alzheimer's therapy pipeline offers distinct growth optionality beyond traditional pharma portfolios. While companies like Google grabbed attention for ambitious carbon-neutral roadmaps, I also focused on those translating ESG commitments into measurable community outcomes, such as Teladoc's telehealth services, improving senior access to care. Following this line of reasoning, ESG was integrated at every allocation stage, not retrofitted at the end. I favored healthcare players with top quartile carbon reduction and real data on health equity, and tech names whose CSR reports documented improved accessibility for at-risk groups. For community impact alignment, I prioritize companies like Eli Lilly, which goes beyond drug development by funding digital coaching to seniors. Their support helps reduce care barriers through mobile clinics, chronic disease educations, and improved access in vulnerable populations. Now, let me walk you through one stock, MasterCard, to embody my investment strategy. It returned 12% from March to May, with double-digit earnings growth, strong cash flows, and premium valuation multiples, justified by its global payment network. It also holds top ESG credentials, and with high barriers to entry, MasterCard is expanding to fintech, cybersecurity, and digital ID. Critically, MasterCard backs purposeful initiatives, such as digital literacy for seniors and financial inclusion tied to healthcare. My portfolio capitalizes on key investment themes, including technology rebounds from oversold conditions, tariff policy shifts creating infrastructural opportunities, and defensive positioning against economic uncertainty. Allocation spans 9 key sectors, from growth-oriented technology services to defensive consumer staples, with strategic weighting across 3 asset classes and geographic diversification between domestic and international markets. My portfolio achieved a 4.11% yield, consistently outperforming the SPY index and securing 18th place during the challenge time window. Following a midterm rebalance where I realized profits from NVIDIA's exceptional surge and shifted capital into stable earners like MasterCard, the fund's net returns continue to exceed the benchmark. This was accomplished even amid the heavily invested healthcare sector facing challenges due to U.S. drug pricing reforms and Medicaid cuts. Now, we will transition into my trading strategy evolution. Rebalancing cycles were driven by both performance attribution and mission alignment. I began by focusing initially on healthcare due to its alignment with elderly care. When sector-specific risks, like drug pricing pressures, emerged, I rotated into inflation-resistant tech and financials, offering growth and diversification. This active rebalancing locked gains on overbought stocks and shifted capital to areas with stronger ESG momentum. What stands out from this experience is the necessity of discipline, using data-driven multi-lens analysis to screen stocks, keeping impact KPIs centered, and moving nimbly as volatility hits. Now we will transition to the core of my presentation, my impact implementation plan. My journey began with the Department of State's Tech Girls program, my passion to help my immigrant grandmother navigate everyday technology. That inspired me to found Bridgen, a mission-driven venture bridging digital and social gaps for older adults through intergenerational support. Today, we're making a real impact, such as securing a grant for the New York Academy of Sciences to host our Youth Changemakers event, developing the Neighborly app beta, collaborating with the State Department Tech Girls alumni to co-design mentorship programs, and finally, gaining recognition at the UN ECOSOC Youth Conference for advancing digital inclusion. Nearly 60% of older adults in New York City report feeling isolated to the broader community, often because language and technology are real barriers. Bridgen's dual-track strategy starts with weekly youth-led workshops at the Lenox Hill Senior Center. Once a week, we teach practical tech skills like smartphone basics and online safety. The next, we switch to interactive enrichments like arts and crafts or storytelling. But we don't just stop at the door. We're launching the Neighborly app, which aims to connect seniors to nearby events and support services. Overall, we aim to build a community that fosters real intergenerational dignity, not dependency. If we were to kickstart Bridgen on a $500 budget, I've prioritized spending for maximum impact and lean validation. Cost estimates are based on pricing from platforms like Adalo for non-code app builders, GoDaddy for hosting and domain registration, and standard NYC workshop supply costs drawn from local nonprofit budgets. First, $60 goes towards the no-code app builder, letting us quickly test and iterate Neighborly's core features with zero engineering overhead. Another $40 covers our domain name and reliable hosting, while $30 goes to the user testing tool. For our in-person workshops, $140 funds everything from art supplies to snacks and basic movement props. To boost participation and gather rich feedback, $100 covers small incentives like gift cards for our first group of seniors. A further $50 is dedicated to DIY content creation to make tech adoption smoother, and another $50 supports bilingual facilitation. In month 1, we enhanced the foundation of Bridgen by recruiting volunteers, running team orientation, and beginning app development. By month 2, we'll have our curriculum finalized and run internal tests on the app, getting all the workshop supplies ready and mapping out the detailed session schedule. Month 3 is launch. Weekly senior workshops begin alongside live demos of our app. Midpoint in months 4 and 5, we pause for collecting real feedback from seniors. Finally, month 6 is about momentum and impact. We continue weekly sessions, document stories, and start planning for a final showcase event. In our last month, we'll host a community event to spotlight Bridgen's mission, share out at youth forums like the UN ECOSOC, and produce an impact summary with clear next steps. Our goal is to engage between 20 and 50 seniors at Lenox Hill through our weekly workshops. On the youth side, we aim to train 10 to 15 high school volunteers who will develop leadership and mentorship skills. We'll also closely monitor how seniors interact with the Neighborly app, targeting at least 60% weekly active users during the pilot. But usage numbers only tell us part of the story. We want to see a significant boost in seniors' tech confidence, at least a 25% increase, as measured by before and after surveys. This reflects our mission to empower, not just teach. Finally, we'll collect 15 to 20 qualitative reflections from participants through interviews, audio stories, and written feedback to capture the transformative experiences that numbers alone can't show. Bridgen is built for sustainable, peer-driven scale. Our leadership pipeline is central. Every year, graduating high school seniors train the next incoming cohort, creating a self-sustaining ambassador network that keeps our mission alive. For geographic growth, we leverage the momentum from our UN ECOSOC network to span across New York City, starting with mentorship circles and intergenerational events in trusted spaces like libraries and youth organizations in Queens, Brooklyn, and the Bronx. Our turnkey toolkits and virtual onboarding let local partners adopt Bridgen easily, so impact isn't bottlenecked by a single central team. Looking further, our partnerships with Camney and the Tech Girls Alumni Network open doors for cross-city and cross-cultural replication. We equip communities with culturally tailored training. Think tech guides in Mandarin, Spanish, or Arabic, and empower Tech Girls alumni to found Bridgen programs where they live. That's all for today. I hope LX Impact Fund leaves you inspired by the potential of youth-led innovation to create real, lasting change. Thank you!